Hi everyone, Nigel here from the UK. I am an SGI Buddhist and I've been chanting since 2006. Welcome to my very first Gosho video. I'll be doing this every 2 weeks and each video will be on a specific letter of encouragement by Nichiren Daishonin. We call this the Gosho. And this first one is by far and away my favourite ever Gosho. It's called On the Treasure Tower. I really want this to be an interactive thing, so please make sure you comment your opinions below and let's discuss each other's particular take on this video. Let's do that in a respectful manner where we can openly discuss this particular Gosho. So comment below this video and come follow me on Twitter. It's @NigelTheBuddha. Each quote that I read out, I will read out which number quote that is, and you can find each one on my Twitter page @NigelTheBuddha. Okay, this is quote number 1. The treasure tower described in the Lotus Sutra is of awesome proportions, and its meaning puzzled a Butsubo. In this letter, the Daishonin gives his aged disciple a striking glimpse into the reality of life. The ceremony depicted in the Lotus Sutra is not a historical event during which a colossal jewel-encrusted stupa actually emerged from the ground. Rather, the appearance of the treasure tower symbolises a ceremony of life. It is a metaphor for the emergence from deep within the human being of the highest state of life. How wonderful, how beautiful is that? At my very first Soka Gakkai meeting, I was asked why I was there, what sparked my interest in Buddhism. And I mentioned about my lifelong mental health issues. In a previous video I mentioned I'm autistic and pretty sure I have ADHD, so really struggle with certain aspects of life. I told the people there that I needed something to help me with my low self-esteem, my lack of self-worth. I never really felt like I was worth loving. Actually, I wonder if you have ever felt like that, whether you suffer from low self-esteem or have done, or whether you never really feel like you could be loved or have done in the past. And what is your response to other people if they said that to you? How would you encourage them? Comment below and let's help each other. In any case, the feeling of unworthiness or the feeling that we can't be loved, the lack of self-worth, isn't that the opposite of what the treasure tower teaches us? Which leads me on quite nicely to quote number 2. Sensei says, "The human spirit is as expansive as the cosmos. This is why it is so tragic to belittle yourself or to question your self-worth. No matter what happens, continue to push back the boundaries of your inner life. The confidence to prevail over any problem, the strength to overcome adversity and unbounded hope all reside in you." So in response to me saying that at the meeting, I was told about the treasure tower and how so incredibly tall it was, so tall you can't see the top and so wide you can't see either side. And it's heavily laden with all the world's jewels to signify how precious we are, and how it's hovering off the ground to signify our lofty life state. All of that describing just one individual, and that we all have the treasure tower within us, and that we all have the ability to reveal Buddhahood, the highest state of life. How wonderful! It's such a beautiful concept. And regardless of our belief system, what we believe, what we don't believe, we all have the potential to reveal the treasure tower in our lives. I think that's why this is my favourite Gosho. It reminds me how wonderful I am, how precious I am, and that I really am worthy of loving, that I have this amazing ability to reveal my potential, my highest potential, my Buddhahood. It reminds me how wonderful nature is, how wonderful each and every human being is, and how wonderful our world is. Okay, so back to the Gosho. This is quote number 3. Nichiren Daishonin wrote this letter in March 1272 to the long-time resident of Sado Island, a Butsubo, and is in response to him asking the Daishonin, what is signified by the thus come one many treasures and his treasure tower, which appeared from beneath the earth. I was 35 when I first met this practice. Up until then I was wondering what life was all about, what is the purpose of my being in this world, what is happiness? I didn't know. Actually, many of us might feel that now. Many of us might have felt that before we started practice. I'd like to know your experiences. Why did you first start to practice? What sparked your interest in Buddhism? What age you were? Actually, it's a bit personal, you don't have to tell me that, but it's interesting. Comment below, come follow me on Twitter, @NigelTheBuddha. Well, a Butsubo, he was around 84 years old when he asked that question of the Daishonin to explain the significance of the treasure tower. How wonderful, how incredible spirit at 84 years old. I hope I have that spirit at such an age. In any case, Nichiren Daishonin was thoroughly impressed with a Butsubo. Later on in this Gosho, he writes, and this is quote number 4, a Butsubo, you deserve to be called a leader of this northern province. Could it be that Bodhisattva pure practices has been reborn into this world as a Butsubo and visited me? How wonderful, how marvellous. I do not understand how it is that you have such faith. I will leave it to Bodhisattva superior practices when he appears, as he has the power to know these things. I am not saying all this without good reason. Isn't that a beautiful way to encourage someone, to be that positive influence in their life? This is how I try to be. I do try. I don't always succeed though. What about you? Can you think back to a time when you were encouraged in such a way? Can you think back to a time when you had cause to encourage someone in such a positive way? Again, let me know your experiences. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So, going back to my first meeting where I was told about the treasure tower, my response was, well, that clearly didn't happen. How could such a thing happen? Well, true. It didn't happen. The earth didn't open up and a jewel encrusted stupa didn't emerge from the earth and hover in midair. How ridiculous to think that actually could happen. It's clearly a metaphor for how precious and amazing we all are, and a visual way of describing our full potential. So, where is the treasure tower? Is it some place of worship? Is it a destination for our pilgrimage? Is it anything outside of us? No, absolutely not. Nichiren says, and this is quote number 5, in the latter day of the law, no treasure tower exists other than the figures of the men and women who embrace the Lotus Sutra. So he's very clearly stating that we are the treasure tower, not someone else or not some other place. He goes on to say in quote number 6, the place where you chant Daimoku will become the dwelling place of the treasure tower. Members of the Soka Gakkai have gohonzon to chant towards, but we do not perceive its meaning outside of us. Although we have gohonzon, Nichiren Daishonin is still saying we are the treasure tower. So I could be silently chanting on a bus or walking my dog in the park. chanting as I go. I'm just visualizing those. But because the Daishonin says the place where you chant Daimoku will become the dwelling place of the treasure tower, that means wherever I am revealing the treasure tower. That is where the treasure tower is. even if it's in, sorry, even if that's in a park or on a bus. No treasure tower exists other than the figures of the men and women who embrace the Lotus Sutra. So, like I just mentioned, members of the Soka Gakkai, we have gohonzon to chant towards. The gohonzon itself, the actual scroll, the piece of paper, is outside of us. It's in our butsudans. But it actually depicts what is inside of us. The gohonzon is a mirror image of the treasure tower that is us. If it were the case that the treasure tower is the gohonzon, then that means that if we don't have gohonzon, that we can't be happy. What a ridiculous thought. Only people with gohonzon can be happy? No, it's just a tool, it's a mirror image. Nichiren Daishonin never limited who can become happy. The gohonzon is a visual tool with its real meaning, the value we put on it with our hearts. Take this as an example. We chant 30 minutes in the morning, we go about our day, and then in the evening we chant another 30 minutes. So that's 1 hour Daimoku that day. If the treasure tower was outside of us in any way, including the gohonzon, then we are only revealing our Buddhahood, revealing our treasure tower for 1 hour that day. That is just an unbelievably ridiculous thought. The Daishonin also writes in this Gosho, it follows, therefore, that whether eminent or humble, high or low, those who chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo are themselves the treasure tower, and likewise are themselves the thus come one many treasures. And that's quote number 7. And it's the second we start chanting. It is with us now that we are revealing the treasure tower, the second we start chanting. Even if today we can only do Sansho. By the way, Sansho, if you don't know, is when we chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo 3 times. We often do that before we start chanting and after we're finished. Sansho, I'm told, is a literal translation of 3 times in Japanese. I know that san is Japanese for 3, but if there's any Japanese people out there who can verify that, comment below. Happy to be proven wrong, but I think I'm right. Actually, let me know where you're from, wherever you are. I want to hear from as many different people in as many different countries as possible. Technology brings us all together, doesn't it? We live in a huge world, but as Sensei says, we live in just a large village now. So again, comment below, come follow me on Twitter, @NigelTheBuddha. I have always struggled with a consistent practice, being able to chant loads one day and nothing the next. But Nichiren Daishonin never said you have to chant 10 hours each and every day to attain Buddhahood, to reveal our treasure tower. It is the heart that's most important. We could do a meaningful Sansho one day and it'd be way more powerful than doing 10 hours of Daimoku with our mind elsewhere and our heart not in it. It's quality over quantity. Still, quality and quantity is better. So, whether we chant 1 Daimoku, we do Sansho, or we chant hours every day, we reveal the treasure tower in our lives right at that moment. And by doing so, by revealing the treasure tower, it means we immediately reveal our inherent Buddha nature. Nichiren goes on to say, a butsubo is therefore the treasure tower itself, and a treasure tower is a butsubo himself. No other knowledge is purposeful. That's quote 8. I love that. To the point. You are the treasure tower is you, end of. And then he says, in quote 9, no treasure tower exists other than Myoho Renge Kyo. The Daimoku of the Lotus Sutra is the treasure tower, and the treasure tower is Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. So there you go. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo is the treasure tower. We are Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. We are the treasure tower. So we're nearing the end of this particular Gosho, but just before I go, I'd like to point out something quite vital, something often misunderstood. Yes, the story goes that the treasure tower emerged from the earth, is adorned with all the most beautiful treasures, and that it's suspended in midair, in space. But we must not see that. We must not view that. We must not understand this as it being outside of us in any way. It's not like we have a low life state and we're set there and we're looking up at any Buddha or any higher power. It is not like that at all. Actually, the treasure tower is part of the ceremony in the air, where all of the ceremony, everyone there is lifted up to the same height as the treasure tower. Buddhism is about us all having the potential for the highest state of life, for us all to reveal the treasure tower, Buddhahood, right here, right now. Okay, so I'll leave it there for now. I really want to hear your thoughts on this Gosho, on the points I've made, and let's, like I say, respectfully discuss each other's viewpoint, and let me know how this Gosho has impacted on your life. Comment below, come follow me on Twitter @NigelTheBuddha. As always, I read all comments and I will reply to as many as I can to join in with this discussion and shared experiences for us all. The next Gosho is going to be Reply to Kyoto, and I shall get that recorded and ready for posting on June the 5th. So keep an eye out for that one. Get subscribing so you don't miss any of my content, because I am going to be doing more chanting videos and Gongyo videos. And come follow me on Twitter @NigelTheBuddha. And let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you want me to cover. Okay, brilliant. Until next time, happy chanting.